Obviously, you guys know the wigs were just awful. Blow my mind all the time. Hey, what's up? Hello, YouTube fam. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Karrington, and I want to thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we are going to be talking about Selena, the series. If you haven't seen it, I will say it's a quick watch, 9 episodes, about 30 minutes each on Netflix. I was hesitant at first because I've already seen Selena the movie. I've listened to some of Selena's music. Obviously, she was such an icon, such a talented singer that was taken away from us way too young, way too early. And in the movie, I thought J-Lo did great. I thought she did an amazing job as Selena. I know back then there was some backlash in terms of her playing the role, but she definitely proved that she was meant for that role in the movie. So when I saw that they were coming out with the series, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know what more they could do, but maybe there's more of Selena that we are going to learn about in this series. However, it wasn't exactly the case like that, right? So first, let me talk about the pros. Number one, it is a quick watch, which I tend to like that more. Some shows can get slow very easily. I didn't feel like this got too slow. The episodes were a decent portion. Honestly, they probably could have made them a little bit longer, some of the episodes, but I felt like overall I wasn't getting bored or it wasn't dragging. Another pro, I did feel that we did learn some new things within this series, not about Selena. I'm sure if you've seen any other reviews, you guys know this show really wasn't about Selena, but we'll get to that. But I did learn some new things that I did not learn, obviously, from the movie or from any type of research that I've done. Number 3, I thought AB and Abraham were very well casted. Abraham, I think he's played by Ricardo Chavira. I might be butchering the name, sorry. But I've seen him on Desperate Housewives. I've seen him act in a few other things. I think he's a very talented actor. And I feel like in this role, he was really good. Like, you're watching this and you're like, what the heck was Selena's dad? Okay, but he's playing the role of Abraham. I thought he did great. And the brother, AB, played by Gabriel Chavira. I can't remember how to say it. He was on East Los High. I loved him in that. And I thought he proved himself to be a really good actor in this because I think he was on East Los High. That role was cool, it was cute, but this role, he really proved his acting skills for me, and I thought that he did great. Now, let's go to the cons, which I know you guys have seen it. First of all, one of them, I know I don't even have to say, obviously the wigs were trash. like, I get that they are trying to show us what the hairstyles were back then, what time frame we were in. I get that, but where was the budget? You know, Netflix, come on, put some money into your projects because those wigs look like they came from the dollar store. I really don't know. The wigs were awful. The title is very misleading. You call it Selena the series. We did not learn anything new about Selena. I felt like Selena was a side character in her own show. I liked the fact that we learned more about the family. Like, we learned that AB played a big part in writing the music. He was in charge of writing the music and also gathering new bandmates if they needed a new guitar player or anything like that. AB was always doing that. We learned more about Abraham and how driven he was to get his family to success through their musical talents. He pushed his kids into music, kind of pushed them to follow his dream because his dream didn't become a reality. He was an artist as well, but his career didn't work out. So he definitely pushed his kids into his career path that he wanted to go down. I feel like with Selena, she not much to the character. You know, she's just always happy, always bubbly. And maybe that's who she really was in real life. You know, I'm not gonna knock that. But I just find it very odd that we didn't learn anything new about her. We see a scene of her at high school, like one scene of her in the high school hallway, and she has a crush on a boy, and then that's it. Like, there was no depth to her. There was no substance. Where were the flaws? Where was some oomph, some substance to the character? We were missing that completely. I didn't like the timeline. So we start off and we see them as kids, Selena, her brother, her sister. We see them as kids getting into music. We see Selena can sing at a young age. That was all very cool. But I feel like we could have kept that part of the storyline, the timeline, going longer. I feel like the children got, what was it, 1-2 episodes? And then out of nowhere, we see Selena, like, we see them in high school, and then full-blown adults. I feel like I would have liked to have known more, even more of their childhood, because I feel like it was all just like, nothing was developed. Like, we just see, oh, okay, she can sing. And then they immediately start booking gigs. Where was the struggle? Like, how did you guys even get to these gigs that Abraham was getting them to? I don't know. I just feel like they could have emphasized more on her childhood, on the kid's childhood. I felt like the story was it was just very choppy. Also, there was no real conflict between the family members, you know, especially with having a dad as like Abraham. I never saw the kids. I'm not saying that they had to backtalk to him, but I feel like everything was just so cookie cutter. We didn't see Selena really ever get upset with her dad. He was very controlling. We just didn't see any of that. And then, like, there's a scene where, again, choppiness of the story. AB looks at some woman in the crowd at a show, and then the next scene, this woman and her sister are stopping by his house, and then fast forward to another scene, AB got a girl pregnant. Once it's known that AB is about to have a baby, his pregnant girlfriend or wife is coming on the tour bus, we don't see Abraham like discuss anything with him. Like, are you saying there was no conflict there? You didn't talk to your son about, hey, you know, why would you start a family when we're just getting started on this career path? That could have also been a distraction. And I just find it crazy that Abraham was so restrictive of Selena, but when it comes to AB, you didn't talk to your son. We didn't really get to see the mother. Another cookie cutter thing. She was like there as a character. It's like the mother, just no depth to her, no character development. I would have liked to have known more about the mother. I feel like we learned so much about Abraham. I really wonder, was the mother this kind of soft-spoken, really not aggressive the way that Abraham was? I just wonder about that. I feel like Christian Serratos was not a bad Selena. Like, a lot of people have been saying negative things that I've been seeing. I don't think she was a bad Selena. I thought that she was okay for the role. I feel like Christian did okay, but there wasn't even much with her to work with because Selena's role in this series was so short. And I feel like because we didn't get to see much of Selena, I feel like maybe they could have titled this series something different. Maybe like the Quintanilla family or something, Selena, the Quintanilla family, you know, put it underneath there instead of Selena the series, like Selena and the Quintanilla family, something like that. Because I feel like we learned a lot more about the family, and Selena was, like I said, just there. Everybody's been talking about her lip syncing. The lip syncing was off. I wonder if that was a her thing or was that an editing thing? Because sometimes it's just so off. I have to question, what was the editing process? Like, did they not hear what was going on with the music in the background? I don't know. I was disappointed because I feel like they're portraying Selena to be somebody who isn't really aggressive. She didn't really stick up for herself. I mean, you had a couple of times here and there which she would try to say something like with the record label. It's cool that we got to see, though, that Selena was very much into fashion even at a young age, because we all know Selena did start her own clothing line. So I thought that that was cool. But to make it seem like, oh, Selena wasn't excited to be in the studio sometimes, she'd rather be at the fabric store, like, what? Okay. I just feel also like a lot of little conflicts were brought up and then quickly brushed off. Plots were like brought up but never developed. And that was the biggest issue with this series. Like something would be brought up and then, oh, just either forget about it or everything was so cookie cutter. So obviously we see how Chris and Selena met. First of all, that was corny to be playing I Could Fall in Love at the door when she sees him. That was that was so corny to me, but okay. I didn't like how once Abraham discovered that Selena and Chris were a thing, that was one of the most memorable scenes in the movie. In this series, trash, terrible. Why would we as an audience care to see what is happening from a couple that is sitting in a diner? There were just so many shots that to me just didn't make sense. There were a lot of shots that were just so unnecessary and it was just like pointless. And I'm really disappointed that some of these characters you just learn nothing about. Honestly, it's really a show more about Abraham, AB, and Suzette. Let's be honest here. Overall, I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't love it. Would I think it's worth the watch? Like, yeah, I think everyone should see it for themselves. However, what I will say is if the like younger generation doesn't know Selena, I would never want them to see this first. I would definitely ask that they see the movie first with Jennifer Lopez. Please do that, because I feel like if I were a kid who did not know Selena and I watched this, I would have learned absolutely nothing. Like, I mean, I would have learned about the family, but I would not know anything about Selena herself. Overall, I did think it was entertaining. It's not too many episodes in my opinion. They do have a cliffhanger, so I think they're gonna bring it back for a season 2, because from the promo, there were a lot of scenes there were a lot of scenes that were included in the promo that we did not see yet. So I'm guessing they already have it filmed and they're just waiting on the release date. If you're bored and want something to watch it. Especially if you already know about Selena, definitely watch it. If you've never, ever heard about Selena, please don't watch this first. Watch the movie. And listen to her music. Definitely listen to her music. All right, guys, that is all of my thoughts today on Selena the series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you seen it yet? And if so, what did you think about this series? I want to thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Be sure to follow me on Spotify and Instagram. I do make music for those of you who do not know, so I always appreciate the support. I want to thank you guys again. I love you all so much, and I will catch you in the next video.